So it's been a interesting weekend. I mean, every weekend's busy. Every weekend's tough. And Sunday night and getting ready to go into the weekend. Hey, so welcome to From the Desk of Alex. I'm Alex, and the idea of this podcast, YouTube channel, this YouTube channel is just kind of going to be a journal for me as I go through the process of making a company. Likely it's going to be a some sort of app or something. It's just something I decided I wanted to do, and recently decided I wanted to kind of document the process for myself. I mean, I've been writing things down, but I also think that it seems like it might be interesting to share it and maybe get some feedback if if anybody ends up watching and has some ideas, things I could improve on that might be helpful. And also maybe somebody can learn something along the way. So I apologize tonight. I wasn't able to I've got a slightly better camera, but tonight it's all off my laptop and seems acceptable. But yeah, so right now about the last 6 months, I've been working on an app. And in some ways, I feel like I might have gone around about this the wrong way, but I also decided that I just wanted to get started. There's a fair amount of videos and guides out there that talk about finding the market and then reviewing the market and finding out what their needs are, and then fill those needs. And then there's a couple, and I'll try to link them below, or probably talk about them later. But there's some videos that talk about you have your idea, and then you go out and you for as little as possible, you want to validate the idea with your target market, and I feel like that's kind of the approach I'm taking. Though with the app, in retrospect, I feel like I could have done it perhaps at a lower price point. I could have validated a little bit lower price point. I'm going to try not to talk about specifics about the app. That'll be more company related stuff. I want to try to keep this a little bit more white label. So anyway, though, but I started working with some developers. I don't code, but I started working with some developers to put together a kind of not even MVP, because I really don't feel like where we are right now is even going to be something that's releasable. But it's something that probably more of like a proof of concept, I guess. It hopefully shows what life could be like with the app, let's say. Definitely costs less than developing out all the rest of the features that I think would be necessary for a true launch MVP. But again, I think I could have probably come up with a way, mocking it up in something like Excel or something that might have been able to prove out the idea and cost even less. But it's not necessarily money lost if we decide to move forward. Then things will look good. But trying to decide what to do, we're getting to the point where we're just about done with the development of the development of the features that I had outlined, and I suddenly realized that seemed like that was the easy part, because I didn't make this. I didn't have this app developed just for the fun of it. I had it so that I could get feedback. I could validate it and proof it out with the market. And so I started thinking, well, what does that mean? So talking to some folks and doing some research, and I mean, I'm sure this is obvious to a lot of people, but so some testing, some beta testing. Everybody that I've talked to, I mean, one of the things they really get back to is always get into the hands of people as soon as possible. And so it's whatever level is representative of what you're going to be delivering, get into people's hands and start getting feedback as soon as possible. And so now it's Okay, so beta testing, sure, sounds good. What does that mean? I mean, it's like people. I've watched a couple of videos where it's like, oh, well, you want beta tested. Okay, yeah, makes sense. How do you have people sign up for beta testing? What kind of legal documents are required? If you're going to provide some sort of benefits, like I've been thinking about providing premium access to the app after we launch to beta testers. But what if we don't launch? What if the results are, just show that there's really not a market? What, how do you outline that? I mean, and maybe, making a mountain out of a molehill, but I feel like I want to make sure that I'm protecting myself. And so try and understand again, what kind of documentation, what kind of contract should I have in place? And so that's been kind of like my entire weekend is just looking that up, and it's a rabbit hole really, because I feel like every time you find out one thing that you could do, you find like two more ideas of what you might want to do. And so yeah, beta testing has been where I'm looking right now. I mean, if anybody's done anything like this, where they've taken a smaller app and beta tested it, and you have any suggestions on how to do it on a relatively low budget, trying. I mean, there's platforms I'm sure that could, provide the infrastructure for beta testing. But I tend to not want to go that route. I mean, unless they're reasonably priced, which maybe they are. I just haven't found them. But yeah, so right now what I'm thinking about is for beta testing, just having a sign up form, and no kidding, but have a sign up form, and then I'll probably do most of the communication via Discord is what I'm planning on, and then also setting up some SurveyMonkey daily and daily surveys, weekly, or I'm expecting this to go for like 6 weeks, I believe. And then also an end of beta testing survey. And then also have some live interviews. And that, to me, that's actually one of the big things, is getting a chance to do some of those live interviews. Because one person I was talking to said, just put it right out on the market and let people, let the customers, let people download it and then provide feedback. But to me, the beta testing, one of the reasons it sounded appealing is because it's going to give me an opportunity to do some face-to-face, Zoom type interactions with people who are testing, and really get to see how they're responding, as opposed to just getting the text of what they said, through a app review. And so I think it's going to be a lot more valuable. And then also I'm doing it partially because I don't want to invest much more money into this. Again, the idea is to see if there's a fit in the market, and then does the market want this? And so one way that I'm planning on doing that is just leveraging Kickstarter to see if there's are people willing to put money into this as an idea? But I don't feel like I can. I feel like the Kickstarter campaign will be better able to succeed if I have some feedback from a beta test. I'm hopeful that there's going to be some positive responses, and then I'm going to be able to leverage some of those in the Kickstarter, and also possibly leverage some of that feedback to make the Kickstarter more appealing to people. And also, I'm planning on giving one of the benefits for the beta tester is to get 10% off on the Kickstarter buy-ins, and so that will be an interesting metric to see. When somebody was part of the beta test, do they go on to becoming a backer in Kickstarter? And if they do, that could be definitely a positive, a way to like quantify the results in a way. So yeah. I mean, if anybody's done something like this, done a beta test, please, reach out. I'd be very interested in hearing what your experience is, especially, how did you get the beta testers? And I'm not talking about big companies, but small apps and things. How did you find the beta testers? How many did you use? Did you use any platforms? Leave a message if you want, or just message me. I'd be very interested to hear anything about how other people have done this in the past. Anyway, so take care, everyone. Talk again later. Bye-bye.